Alarm bells ringing at the Fed, your news update, and we talk Arbitrage Trade Assist on this edition of Arbitrage News Weekend, starting right now. Hello and welcome to Arbitrage News Weekend for February 25th, 2023. I'm Joshua Stark. Last month, the Federal Reserve's preferred measure of inflation increased at the quickest rate since June, indicating that price pressures are firmly embedded in the U.S. economy. The development could compel the Fed to continue raising interest rates well into this year. According to a report from the Commerce Department released on Friday, consumer prices surged by 0.6% between December and January, a substantial increase from the 0.2% rise recorded from November to December. Prices increased by 5.4% on a year-over-year basis, up from 5.3% annual rise in December. A group of prominent economists have published a research paper that argues that the Federal Reserve cannot continue raising interest rates to counteract the worst inflation the nation has seen in 40 years without causing a recession. The economist's report suggests that an immaculate disinflation, where inflation is tamed without recession, has never been achieved before. When inflation skyrockets, as it has done over the last 2 years, the Fed typically responds by raising interest rates in an effort to slow down the economy and curb price increases. However, if inflationary pressures persist, the Fed may need to continue increasing interest rates to control it. The downside to this approach is that it makes mortgages, auto loans, credit card borrowing, and business lending more expensive, which can lead to companies canceling new projects, cutting jobs, and consumers reducing spending. Scott Servals, the manager of the Seattle Mariners, spent almost 800 games as a catcher for 4 different teams during the 1990s. During that era, the necessary skills for a catcher were straightforward and included throwing out base runners, blocking the ball, and hitting for power, particularly in comparison to established Hall of Famers such as Mike Piazza and Ivan Rodriguez. However, in the current era, pitch framing has emerged as a crucial and subtle skill. In the age of baseball's data revolution, the ability to make borderline pitches look like strikes has been recognized as a game-changing craft that can be as influential as Piazza's power or Rodriguez's arm. The traditional equation that has incorporated the human element for nearly 150 years could be altered with the introduction of the Automated Ball Strike System, or ABS. As part of the rule changes that will be implemented in the major leagues this year, ABS will be put to its most significant test yet at the AAA level. Nadim Nahas was due to appear in court on Thursday to face charges of fraudulently using electricity and vandalizing a school, but failed to show up. In December 2021, police were notified after the town's facilities director discovered multiple computers, temporary ductwork, and electrical wires during a routine inspection of Cohasset Middle High School. The town's IT director found that it was an unauthorized cryptocurrency mining operation connected to the school's electrical system. The Coast Guard Investigative Service and the Department of Homeland Security helped to safely remove and examine the equipment. The process of mining cryptocurrency requires an enormous amount of energy, and Nahas, the former assistant facilities director of the town, was identified as a suspect. More after this on Arbitrage News. Stick around.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
This week's Arbitrage blog includes Housing by Elon, Supreme Court talks internet liability, and we talk about exciting stuff such as Arbitrage Trade Assist. All this and more in this week's Arbitrage blog, available now at arbitragetrade.com and .org. Now let's go to the president and CEO of Arbitrage, Mr. Royce Wells, for more. Royce, is there going to be a Wellsville coming out?
Possibly. Hey, I can build houses too. Why not?
Well, Elon Musk is kind of playing with that idea.
That's not an original idea, though.
Yeah, the Boring Company and Tesla is all based in Texas, right?
Yeah.
Well, similar
Oh,
situation.
wait, in Texas? That's expensive.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Similar situation to what we used to have with the mining companies here in the early century, you know, where they had the mining camps and the settlements and that sort of thing.
Breaking out old school.
Yeah, Elon is partnering with a Florida-based house builder with something called Project Amazing, where he's putting 110 homes near the Boring Company's headquarters.
Excellent. With secret tunnels and things to, yeah.
You never know.
I want a bat pole. I'm just saying.
I'm saying that sounds good to me.
22 stories down. Let's go.
Have the loop underneath where all you have to do is just drop down at a fire pole and you're dropped into a Tesla and it takes you to work.
I want George Jetson's, not George Jetson. Is that right?
Yeah, George Jetson's.
I almost went Jefferson. George Jefferson is definitely a different car.
Moving on up.
Right?
All right. So this is analogous to also the way Japan does some of the larger companies.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Matsushita Corporation, which is Panasonic, Mitsubishi Corporation, Sony, a few of the other big companies actually have towns that the company runs, and to this day you can go to something like a Mitsubishi hospital or something like that.
Wait, you telling me if he does this right, we could possibly have Midgar and Anima and... Oh, yeah, let's do this.
Let's do this.
Machina.
Let's do this. Yeah. So, it could have a positive impact. It's in the Austin, Texas area. So you can imagine the cost of development with that.
Yeah, but also close to him, so that works.
Yeah, also close to him. Would it be helpful to the workers? Well, it kind of depends. It kind of depends on how family friendly it is and the terms of housing. What happens when the employee quits? Or gets fired? Do they have to vacate the home? Do they have to leave? I mean,
I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be like military housing. So
Yeah.
basically you're assigned quarters.
I don't know.
And then when you move, it's time to get new quarters.
I don't know. I mean, those are some of the questions we got to ask on this. What are the rental agreements going to look like? What's are employees going to be more available to work if they have a close proximity to the company?
Yeah. Or will the Tesla be out there waiting for them each morning to drive them in?
That's
or will
what
it be
I'm
a
thinking.
shuttle? Or hey, get that 18-wheeler bus.
Yeah.
That they made electric.
Yeah,
let's
man.
do it. We're all going to work in an 18-wheeler.
Sounds good to me. We'll keep an eye on this and other developments with the Boring Company as we go along. But for right now, more after this on Arbitrage News. Stick around.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys! I love this song! I love these nachos. I love our kickball league! Ugh! I love this guy! What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
To protect her home and family in a disaster, Karen was willing to wade through water, mud, and insurance paperwork.
Yeah, I can do this.
You go, Karen! By simply understanding and updating what her insurance covers and doesn't cover now, she'll be better prepared no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Russia offered weapons for sale on Monday at a biennial arms fair in the United Arab Emirates, ranging from Kalashnikov assault rifles to missile systems, despite facing sanctions from the West over its war on Ukraine. The event, known as the International Defense Exhibition and Conference and held in the UAE capital of Abu Dhabi, underscores how the Gulf Arab Federation has sought to embrace Moscow while balancing its ties to the West. As Russia's war on Ukraine approached its first anniversary on Friday, Russian money continued to flood into Dubai's red-hot real estate market. Daily flights between the Emirates and Moscow continue as the war grinds on, providing a rare lifeline for both those fleeing conscription and the Russian elite. The U.S. Treasury has already expressed concerns about the amount of Russian cash flowing into the Arabian Peninsula country. The arms fair typically sees the Emiratis host individuals that could be seen as problematic in the West. Former Sudanese strongman Omar al-Bashir came to the 2017 edition. Chechen regional leader Ramzan Kadyrov, himself now deeply involved in the Ukraine war, came in both 2019 and 2021. This year's event drew Libya's Khalifa Haftar, the commander of the self-styled Libyan National Army, who faces a U.S. lawsuit accusing him of orchestrating indiscriminate attacks on civilians and torturing and killing political opponents. But while not directly acknowledged at this year's show, the tendrils of Russia's war on Ukraine could be seen everywhere at the fair Monday. To reach Russia's exhibition tent, those attending the fair had to leave Abu Dhabi's cavernous National Exhibition Center and cross along a sky bridge to an outdoor area. Russian officials delayed journalists from going inside their tent as an event was going on, initially without explanation. About an hour later, journalists saw Denis Monturov, Russia's Minister of Trade and Industry, come out of the tent. Monturov is sanctioned by both the United States and the United Kingdom, with London describing him as being responsible for overseeing the Russian weapons industry and responsible for equipping mobilized troops in the war on Ukraine. Yet Monturov described the ongoing war as providing advertising for Russian weaponry. Any military action is further accompanied by interest in those products, those weapons that are in demand in a given military conflict, he said, according to the TASS news agency. Therefore, certainly, interest is now high in air defense systems, short, medium, and long-range ones. He added, each transaction is subject to close scrutiny from our Western colleagues. They are trying to create obstacles. We ensure the security of such deals so that they are as effective as possible and implemented privately. Emirati officials didn't directly acknowledge Monturov's presence. The U.S. State Department did not respond to a request for comment about Russia's presence at the arms show in a country that hosts thousands of American troops. Monturov visited the Emirates as U.S. President Joe Biden was in Kiev. Inside the Russian tent, a video screen proclaimed the power of Moscow's surface-to-air missile systems, like those being used now to strike cities in Ukraine. Salesmen showed off Kalashnikov assault rifles to Emirati troops. Other model missiles sat on display. More after this on Arbitrage.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local. I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
This week, we're looking at a certain case in the Supreme Court because it could have farther-reaching implications, which much of the Supreme Court seems to have. This particular one is based on a lawsuit that is being filed that YouTube's recommendations helped an Islamic State group to kill 130 people in Paris in 2015.
Yikes, that's heavy.
Yeah, it is heavy. It is heavy, but if you think about it, it could have some large implications. There is a law that was written in 1996 called Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. It's credited with helping helping create today's internet. What happened and how it was established, and it established some liability protection. But Section 230 underpins a lot of the open internet. So that includes YouTube, that includes Facebook, that includes Twitter. Yeah.
Google, Bing, all that.
Every single bit of it. You know, we've got
Blockbuster.
They're not Blockbuster, no. But there are many questions about whether these entities in the internet should be held liable for these acts that were basically assisted terrorism. Now, here's the question that I have for you, Mr. Wells.
All right, let's hear it.
Let's say that an Islamic extremist group joined our arbitrage. Okay. They made money with arbitrage, therefore used to further the extremist group. Should we be held liable for that?
I personally say no.
I personally say no as well.
Because you have no idea where the money's going to be used or who it's for. We actually only are assisting people to trade. We're not. We have no visibility for their account or what they're going to do, and basically it's as is. So, yeah,
right. Well, you know, the law was drafted to kind of try to wheel in what happens when a person gets on the internet and does something harmful or illegal or offensive, and it's kind of been a self-policing thing. And the argument here is, you know, who knew what, when, and how could they have blocked things like that?
But is it their job to necessarily block that? Basically, they're providing a service. They can't control who's coming into their service, right? Then it's profiling. That's also against the law.
That's what they're arguing. They say that YouTube is able to keep people from almost anything that violates the company's rules, including violent extremist content such as this. Just one video in 1,000 makes it past the company's screeners, it's said. So we're going to be taking a look at this. There are recommendation algorithms that they'll be taking a look at as well during this case, and I think it's going to be something very interesting to keep an eye on.
Yes, all of the talking heads will be talking.
Absolutely. More after this.
I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Why was the basketball court all wet? Because the players kept dribbling on it.
The dad joke. Corny, grown-worthy, but also one of the simplest ways to share a moment with your kids.
What did the buffalo say when he dropped his son off for school? Bye, son.
So take a moment to make your kid laugh, because dad jokes rule. Make your kid laugh today. Go to fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Work less, get more. A trial of a 4-day work week in Britain, billed as the world's largest, has found an overwhelming majority of the 61 companies that participated from June to December will keep going with the shorter hours, and that most employees were less stressed and had better work-life balance. That was all while companies reported revenue largely stayed the same during the trial period last year and even grew compared with the same 6 months a year earlier, according to findings released this week. We feel really encouraged by the results, which showed the many ways companies are turning the 4-day work week from a dream to a realistic policy with multiple benefits, said David Frayne, research associate at the University of Cambridge, who helped lead the team conducting employee interviews for the trial. We think that there is a lot here that ought to motivate other companies and industries to give it a try. The university's team worked with researchers from Boston College Autonomy, a research organization focused on the future of work, and the 4-day week global nonprofit community to see how the companies from industries spanning marketing to finance to nonprofits and their 2,900 workers would respond to reduced work hours while pay stayed the same. Not surprisingly, employees reported benefits with 71% less burned out, 39% less stressed, and 48% more satisfied with their job than before the trial. Of the workers, 60% said that it was easier to balance work and responsibilities at home, while 73% reported increased satisfaction with their lives. Fatigue was down, people were sleeping more, and mental health improved, the findings show. That's just what Platton's Fish and Chips restaurant in the English seaside town of Wells next the sea has found, especially in the hospitality industry, where people often work 7 days a week. Everyone is focused, everyone knows what they're doing, everyone is refreshed, said Kirsty Wainwright, general manager of the restaurant, about a 3-hour drive northeast of London. What it means is that they are coming into work with a better frame of mind and passing that on to obviously the clients and the public that are coming in here for their meals. They're getting a greater service because the team are more engaged. Starting the trial going into the busy season in June, Platton's, which is open 7 days a week, found the biggest hurdle was finding a model that worked for everyone, Wainwright said. They constantly communicated with employees to find what worked best, which was having the staff split into 2 groups, allowing one group to work 2 days on and another to have 2 days off, she said. The concept lets people work, have a day to do chores like cleaning the house, and then have 2 days off, seeing your friends, seeing your family, doing stuff for yourself, Wainwright said. And that's what this is all about, is actually just working to live and not living to work. For companies that rolled out the shorter work hours, whether it was one less work day a week or longer hours in parts of the year and shorter hours the rest of the time to make an average 32-hour week, revenue was not affected, the findings say. As a matter of fact, revenue grew over 1.4% over the course of the trial for 23 companies that provided adequate data, weighted for the size of the business, while a separate 24 companies saw revenue climb more than 34% from the same 6-month period a year earlier. More after this on Arbitrage News.
Hey, hon, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
What is dedication?
My daughter is biological and my son is adopted. I love them both so much.
from the morning when you wake up to putting them to bed at night and every moment in between. I think a parent's job is to protect our children, but also prepare them for the world so they become good, kind human beings.
That's dedication. Find out more at fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Pretty big week for us around here, Mr. Wells.
Oh, it's been a crazy week.
Been a crazy week, and we're crazy people. But we've got something really cool that we've been working on for a very long time, and we're so excited to present it to people. It's called Arbitrage Trade Assist.
And it's literally trading with training wheels, guys.
It's so pretty. I'm sitting here looking at it work right now. Just by the numbers, not numbers, but percentages. It looks like I'm up 20% in my account right now.
Yeah, about 2-week period too, right?
Yeah.
Not bad at all, sir.
Currently, I'm in 16. I've had 16 assisted trades from the Arbitrage Trade Assist program, and we are opening that up to people soon.
Yeah. How many have you actually traded yourself, or have you let the bot do it? All the work, or
the bot's doing every single bit of the work for me because I don't know crap. We know this.
Well, fair enough. And every time you see green, you do have the option to close out your own trade. So that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You do have that option. You have the option to follow. We have. Can we say that we have 8 pairs that we follow, generally speaking?
Yeah, there are 8 pairs that Arbitrage Trade proper follows, and basically just using those 8 major foreign exchange pairs, it allows you to basically be able to make a decent return week after week.
Yeah. Currently, I'm in five pairs currently, and I've got a decent amount of units and a decent amount of purchase, and it's been open for just a little while, but the bot takes care of everything. You don't have to worry about have to worry about babysitting. You don't have to worry about being awake at 2 a.m. and it went the wrong direction while you were sleeping. The bot takes care of it, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I had a trade close last night at 2:39 a.m. I definitely was not awake. I'd been up all night working on Trade Assist to get it ready for you guys, but definitely was not up to say, let me go take profit on that. It took profit, and I got to actually sleep in just a little.
But also, not to mention the fact that we've got the very cool Trade Assist, but also our beautiful new site is coming up. So it's
that's
looking amazing.
The number of people who have worked on this to make this possible, it's absolutely amazing. I have an awesome team.
Absolutely. You can tell we are so excited about this, and we definitely want you to be a part of this. So please go to arbitragetrade.com. Take a look at all of our stuff. Take a look at our educational stuff. Take a look at our Trade Assist. Trade Assist is going to be the thing, though. It's going to be the new way to arbitrage while you sleep.
Yeah, while you sleep, arbitrage trades. And don't forget the educational modules.
Yes, absolutely. We have got some amazing educational modules, and if you do sign up for Arbitrage Trade Assist, we're not just going to throw you to the wolves. We actually take you through a checklist to make sure you do it right, to make sure that you do it correctly. Now, Roy says I'm the everyman around here, and my goodness, he is right about that. Too many smart people around here, but if I can do it, you can do it too. Arbitrage Trade Assist today at arbitragetrade.com. Royce,
you can thank us later.
Absolutely. I'm thanking you now, dude. Come on.
I'm just going to be the rock for a second. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend. We'll see you soon. There we go.
Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is a privately held research company. Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC is solely responsible for the preparation and distribution of the contents of this podcast. The opinions offered in this podcast are for informational purposes only and are not intended to function as investment advice. Seek a duly licensed professional for investment advice. For more information about the informational research and services offered by Arbitrage Trade Analytics, LLC,